Hello everybody and welcome to RPG Horror Stories. I'm your host Suyu. Now I'm hoping that you guys are loving the videos. As always, if you enjoy it, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell icon, and by the mother of Morden and the father of Saloon, I hope that you're leaving your horror stories in the comments down there, because there's a chance I'll read them tomorrow. Now let's get on with the story. That one time I ran a truly evil party. It was college. I was young, I needed the money. Please don't judge me too harshly. Session 0, the party, told me that they wanted a truly evil experience. Not funny, over-the-top evil. Not fade to black when the bad stuff happens. Real, true, unequivocal evil. No topic was off the table, no topic was too grand. I agreed. Session 1, they rolled into town and find a homeless man. They beat him unconscious, rob him of what little he has, and leave him in the snow, unconscious, dying. And then they went into the bar. They paid for a few cheap beers for some slavers they found. They sold them the homeless man, and then followed them back to their camp. They then murdered all the slavers, after getting them drunk off of said beer. And they sacrificed each and every slave, one at a time. Death by gruesome death. There was an uncomfortably long, detailed roleplay session involving butchering men, women, and children in horrific ways. Session 2, they assaulted a halfling village, butchered every living thing in town, razed most of the structures, set up altars to the evil deities, and started raising the dead. Graphic torture ensues, parents watching children die. One player had a vampire spawn cohort, so they raised 4 8 to 12-year-old kids as vampire spawn. They used those little monsters to infiltrate another town. They poisoned the wells. They spread disease in the granary with undead flesh. They killed and raised the mayor as a vampire spawn, then left the town to its fate and left the vampire kids to feast. Final session, they needed the say-so of a half-orc magistrate to gain access to the palace so they could sacrifice the emperor to Despater by dropping him into a portable hole full of molten iron. They acquired 2 young boys with the promise of riches and a better life, and gave them to the magistrate as body slaves. Ugh, gross. I had to roleplay a sweaty-faced, heavy-breathing pedophile, being ecstatic while walking away hand in hand with children. One kid looked over his shoulder at the party, fear in his eyes, as they let him go. Then they murdered the emperor. Then I stopped being the DM for these people. I had met the people who were at the table at a tattoo convention, and then gone to a few industrial shows with them before playing. Very much dark alternative culture. Still wildly uncomfortable at times. I still do have pretty loose rules about what's okay and what's not. I still allow evil characters, but I'm not doing full-scale, hardcore, true fucking evil campaigns again. Oh, did I just read? Oh my god, there's so much wrong with this. Oh my goodness, why did you even let this happen? Oh my, dude. I mean, like, it's okay to run a true evil campaign, but fuck, man. Selling kids into sex slavery? Where the fuck was the bar set? Gross. Don't fucking do this. If you're gonna run a true evil campaign in Dungeons and Dragons, fade to black when the really fucked up shit happens, because Jesus Christ, the imagery here is just it's painful to think on. Next story. I need something to fucking cleanse my palate or some shit. Fuck, man. I am kicked from a game after pointing out that the Game Master has house ruled my character into non-viability. I will try to keep this short. I was playing Pathfinder. 2nd edition, it was all going well. Dual class variant. We reached level 3, returned to town, tried buying gear, and after selling some loot, my Animal Instinct Barbarian, my other class was Wild Order Druid, had just enough for hand wraps of mighty blows. I buy them and make a comment about how my antler attacks will now be a +1. The Game Master then says no, they only apply to attacks with the fist. That's not how that works in Pathfinder 2nd edition. They affect all unarmed strikes. This is particularly important for Animal Instinct Barbarians, who are not allowed to use weapons while raging. The Game Master argues that hand wraps are intended for monks. Every other class should just use a weapon. Again, if I attack with a weapon while raging, I lose the ability to rage. I cite sources, I post videos. No. The Game Master has ruled that this is not allowed. When I point out that this makes my character unplayable beyond level 5, because my attacks cannot keep up with what the system respects, nothing. When I ask if I can respect my character to something that will actually work with this rule, I get booted from the game. Too long didn't read, due to either not understanding the rules or badly house ruling things. The Dungeon Master guarantees that my character is going to break and then boots me for objecting and asking to re-roll. There we go. That's much better than the story we just read. So this is a very classic case of Dungeon Masters just having their head up their ass. It's a very common thing for Dungeon Masters to very strongly believe in the whole the DM is God whole, that shtick. And as such, when people post things that are to the contrary of their house rules, even if it's from the actual manual of the game they're playing, they will tend to stick with their house rules, living in this sort of like deranged sunk cost fallacy. Rest assured, there is only one actual fucking solution to this, which is to not play with that person. Because they are so full of themselves that they probably sniff their own farts. Let's be honest here. You all know somebody like that. Somebody just that head stuck so far up their ass they eat their own shit. Next story. Oh, it is worth saying that a lot of DMs, if players bring up what the system actually says, bring up the actual rulings on this, show videos, evidence, blah 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 blah, they'll probably just be like, yeah, no, I probably made a bad house ruling there. Let's just rule it as so and so for now on until we find something else out. It's very easy to admit a mistake. It's very, very hard to make one and then deny making it for the entire game, because everyone's gonna fucking leave at some point. The campaign's going well, except every single time anyone casts Speak with Animals or Speak with Plants, we got the hilarious Dungeon Master goof that the target has an existential freakout at just having been granted sentience, refusing to answer any questions or listen to any request to calm down. Instead, they just... We have to divert all our roleplay for a good 15 minutes, grinding the session's momentum to a screeching halt. Every single time. Multiple players have expressed that this joke has really diminishing returns, and at this point, it's just getting grating. As making any good aligned players feel like an absolute dickwad whenever they cast this seemingly innocuous spell. I, as a ranger, am getting the worst of it, since both Speak with Animals and Speak with Plants are permanently part of my spell list, and I'm supposed to be able to cast them for free once a day. First, we just half-joked about how the bit was getting predictable. Now we're just outright saying that it's not entertaining anymore, it's just tedious. Despite our objections, the DM still thinks it's the funniest thing in the world to keep doing. Is anyone else a victim of a recurring gotcha joke that only the Dungeon Master thinks is funny? I'm gonna be honest, so I like to play small classes, and a lot of the times, the gotcha joke that the DM that I was dealing with at that time, his joke was to just fucking pick me up and throw me all over the place. Well, at some point, there is no way to break this joke outside of owning the joke. So, next time, I would recommend, personally, this has worked for me in the past, if they're giving you the whole freaking out because they're now sentient thing, just scream back at the plant until the plant stops screaming. Yes, this approach has worked for me multiple times in the past. As for the throwing my fucking gnomes around and halflings around, guess how I fucking own that? I have a friend. Plays fucking like 8-foot tall barbarian orc. And we got a giant fucking slingshot. Plant that bitch in the ground. If we're going on a siege, guess who goes over first? Every single time. He tries to increase the checks, but that's never fucking worked. I swear, every time he tries to make it impossible, I swear, the one time he was just like, there's no way you're gonna fucking make this. There's literally only a way of making this by using a fucking critical. With Bardic Inspiration. Which, mind you, that's not supposed to be a thing. You know, if something is a critical, it's supposed to almost always succeed. It's just the rules of D&D. It's a 5% chance, it's a very slim and narrow chance. And however improbable something is, it's never impossible. That's the entire reasoning behind that. But we had Bardic Inspiration, and then we rolled a nat 20. He just stopped making the joke after that. I never let him live it down, though. I still love just yeeting fucking gnomes and half-elves over the fucking... Not half-elves, halflings over the walls with fucking slingshots. So much so that I've started using it with goblins as a DM myself, because I find that to be, quite frankly, a goblin thing to do. So, that's all we have for today. Much love, stay sexy, and I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. We'll be streaming on Twitch later, and I hope that you guys are there to watch. Bye-bye!